partners. I'm so pleased to welcome you all here at America House Kyiv. My name is Tatiana Strelchenko. I'm America House Kyiv director. And tonight we have a very special program with Cultural Forces of Ukraine. Let's give them a round of applause. It's an absolutely terrific program that was prepared for you tonight. And I'm also pleased to tell that the audience is so special. We have a very nice audience here in Kyiv at America House. We have friends, partners, colleagues, alumni of our programs. We also have online audience joining us online. So I would like to introduce to you a few viewing parties that are joining us tonight. We have our partners from the American Center in Trieste in Italy. Guys, if you can hear me, maybe you can just unmute yourself and greet our Kyiv audience. Hello, Italy! Вітаємо з Києва. Я знаю, що багато українців і українок сьогодні доєдналися до нас з Італії. Дуже раді вас бачити, Трєсте. We also have our partners and colleagues from North Macedonia, Bitola. Guys, are you there? Unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to see this support. And also North Macedonian Center in Skopje. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us online, and thank you for supporting Ukraine. And to kick off our program, I am so pleased to give the floor to our very big friend of America House, our partner from USAID, Brooke Harding, the Ukraine Deputy Country Representative.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited, like Tatiana said, to have such a nice, diverse group of people here today, regular attendees of the America House, embassy representatives, and so many others. And I also wanted to say a special hello to those in North Macedonia. Zdravo, kako si. That's all I've got for now. That's all I remember. And ciao to everyone in Italy. So USAID is really proud of the partnership that we've had with Cultural Forces. And, you know, Cultural Forces has multiple lines of effort. What we're supporting with them is to work with those in liberated and frontline communities to be able to reconnect socially and know what it means to be able to be your authentic self and to be able to be Ukrainian. And, you know, the other really important part of what Cultural Forces is doing is working in the frontline areas, supporting the military, ensuring that people have a sense of hope and purpose to be able to continue after more than 2 years of Russia's full-scale war here. So those two things in themselves are a lot of work, but Cultural Forces has now also gone international. So they were most recently in the US on a 40-day tour, and I was very lucky to be able to spend the first couple of days with them there, and you'll get to hear from the amazing musicians themselves and hear the beautiful music that they have to share with us all today. So again, thank you so much for coming, and look forward to experiencing the next hour or so of music and conversation with everyone, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Brooke. And now I'm so pleased to welcome to this stage our very special guest, Mykolai Serha, who is the co-founder of the Cultural Forces of Ukraine, a very famous Ukrainian, prominent Ukrainian musician, artist, producer, presenter. Mykolai, maybe you can introduce the whole crew yourself. Welcome.
Thanks, Guy. Very happy to be here. Okay, I will begin straight from the Cultural Forces without any prelude. Okay, and I think the best way to tell about Cultural Forces is to show you the video. We have short video about Cultural Forces, which will help you to explain everything. Please, your attention on the screen.
The Cultural Forces Military is an association of Ukrainian artists who took up arms to defend the country from the aggressor at the beginning of a full-scale invasion. Over time, when some of us eventually managed to return to our instruments, their meaning and the normal use have changed radically. Dugouts and trenches instead of large concert halls. sounds of explosions instead of applause, combat brothers and sisters instead of loyal fans. Over the past year, the Cultural Forces military members managed to host more than 3,000 events along the front line, in hospitals and the military training centers. We work with the most valuable things that warriors have. We work with their souls. Thanks to the support of celebrities, historians, cultural figures, and opinion leaders, Ukrainian soldiers managed not only to yield to the overwhelming forces of the enemy, but also, knowing what they are fighting for, confidently move forward, liberating our lands from sneaky invaders inch by inch. Thanks to the work of psychologists who visit the soldiers with us, the Ukrainian military is able not only to overcome the pain and inconveniences that this vast war is filled with, but also to return to the battle, destroying everything that stands in the way of victory, in the way of the existence of our country. Ukrainian culture is one of the strongest pillars on which the front rests. Ukrainian culture is something that the enemy has been trying to destroy for centuries. Ukrainian culture is what will eventually break its rotten teeth. Power to culture, culture to power.
Thanks. Yeah, and we will show you one more video. It will be much longer, like 2.5 times longer, but it will help to explain what we did in the United States, because we had 40 days tour. We made more than 100 concerts, about 110 concerts for this time, so everybody's exhausted. Because 2-3 concerts per day, and sometimes we worked separately. So the bigger part of group working in Detroit, an example, and another part like me and Yuri Vaskevich work in Washington. So on TEDx we had performances, and it was a lot of different adventure stuff there during this time. But video which we'll show to you is one of the very important videos right now for Ukraine, because it's about the advocacy. We worked in Congress. First week where Brooke helped us, we worked in Washington. So it was Congress, it was Senate, it was different places in Washington, but then we moved to the north side. We had little trip to Texas, where, you know, Harlan Crow, who is that? It's one of the big investors in the Republican Party, and they made big evening, like gala evening for us at their home, and it was amazing. And then we came back to Washington, then we go to the north side of the United States, and we had performances in churches, in universities, on the streets, in different veteran organizations. So we had performances everywhere where it was possible or it was not possible before we came. So we just built the new roads there, everywhere, connections and bridges. And right now we will show you the video about our work in Congress.
Дуже багато різних коридорів, офіційних перевірок, контролів, але все дуже цікаво.
Keep all those strings in mind.
Сьогодні був дуже продуктивний день. Ми, по-перше, зробили багато чого, але окрім цього зрозуміли, по якій схемі потрібно побудувати зараз роботу нашу в Вашингтоні. І завтра вранці ми знову підемо в Конгрес, але ми директивно беремо сьогодні за вечір, беремо тих конгресменів, які відповідають за ті штати, в які ми поїдемо зараз працювати туром. І прийдемо до цих конгресменів з пропозицією об'єднатися з нами, об'єднатися з нашими зусиллями, тож вони допоможуть нам зібрати правильну аудиторію, впливову аудиторію, ту аудиторію, яка є лідерами думок в їх штатах. А ми забезпечимо потужним перформансом. Ви підтримуєте Україну? Супер. Ви підтримуєте Україну, наприклад, ваші виборці не так підтримують Україну. Тому ми можемо зробити все для того, щоб зараз пропрацювати з вашими виборцями, для того, щоб вони побачили, чому Україну потрібно підтримувати.
Фредерік Шнайдер, він з Іллінойсу.
Taras? T-A-R-A-S? Nice to meet you. Ukrainian Congress of Chicago gave that to me. And I brought it back here and put it on the wall. Oh, man. Well, thank you.
With the sign of the soldiers culture, so the
That's
forces.
fabulous.
So it's for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll hold this up. That was beautiful. Where are you playing in Chicago?
Опрацюють інформацію і будемо на зв'язку.
I got to run to a hearing right now.
Yeah, we just...
But it's good to have you here. Obviously, we're big supporters of Ukraine.
Yeah,
You're fighting for freedom.
We saw that, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
In that moment, we came to work with his staff, and he just came to eat something like snacks. And we began to perform. He was impressed, and he forgot to eat. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw you. Thank you. How is it? You're just cruising in other offices? Grab a seat or just fill in here.
You will invite all your team, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
I know that war can be lonely. It can be very difficult to the soul, as you said, but you are not alone. You have a lot of people who think about you and fight for you all the time, and this office is one of them.
We will need your help to prepare their different performances. You will help us to find these places.
Yeah.
And we need to do few shots, few performances, and it needs to work the best.
We'd love to do that. So
Oh,
we'll
great.
figure out how we can host you in Denver.
This is the heart and soul of the Ukrainian people. And that's what I tell people in my district who have received some of the same propaganda. And so they don't agree with me. But we have to keep trying.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's get a picture right here.
Ненсі Пелосі це неймовірна людина, яка дуже багато підтримує Україну. Це чемпіонка по підтримці України. Вона дуже впливова в Конгресі, тому вона дуже багато що зробила не тільки особисто від себе, а ще й впливаючи на інших.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Be safe, okay?
Просто щиро прийшли, розвернули душу, показали, розказали, поділилися, пішли далі. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава! Героям слава! Героям слава!
Thank you for your support.
So it's the piece of our work, and it was a lot of different, very funny stories because when we're trying to figure out how we will come to Congress and play there, everybody told us it's not possible to get there with the instrument. You're crazy. We say, yeah, we are crazy. It's a good mark on us, and we brought all the instruments and we began to perform in the cabinets, in the rooms. And an example with Nancy Pelosi, when we came there. Straightly in the doors, her head of staff said, no photos, no cameras, because it's not possible, it's forbidden. We will make photos on our camera with Nancy and we'll send to you. We said, okay. Then, but I said, okay, we will take cameraman with us. we go inside the room. Nancy came to us. We begin to speak with her. Then Yuri sang the first song, and she said, "Maybe you want to film here?" We said, "Yes." And she said, "Okay, you know, you're the first during all my credential who filming here in this room." I said, "Okay, it's a big honor for us." So culture helping to do very, very powerful things, and right now it's the time for the culture, and not just with work with Congress. It's work with different people, because you know, information works with our brains, with our consciousness. Culture working with our unconsciousness. It helps to give the emotion from one person to another person without the criticism of consciousness. So that's why it's the most effective instrument right now in these times. And it's not the theory. We had a lot of practice during this time. So, and right now we will begin. We will begin our concert, and you will see what American people saw there in the United States. And we will begin from the performance of Taras Stolar. Taras Stolar is the best bandura player in the world and one of the best in Ukraine. Everybody knows what is bandura, yeah? Yeah, and our online friends, bandura, it's Ukrainian traditional instrument. It has 62 strings. Always the traditional instrument of the country shows the depth of the soul of the country. So in Ukraine it's bandura, and it's not enough to show all the depth of Ukrainian soul. In Russia they have balalaika, it's 3 strings, and it's more than enough. Taras Stolar. impossible to translate. Taras Stoller. And his bandura. Or bandura and her Taras Stoller. Olga Rukavishnikova. Before the war, she was symphonic conductor. She has a master degree in violin and master degree in violence. Because she has black belt karate. On 24 February 2022, she joined the army, Kyiv Territorial Defense, and she was in different combats. She was 5 times wounded. After the last one, she lost her eye. Once in hospital, the doctor said to her that because of a lot of shrapnel in her left hand, she will never play violin again. And she said, "You will never tell these things again." Then she took the violin and began to play. Olga Rukavishnikova. Це тізер. It's a teaser. It's Mikhailo Alinik, and he will play after our Q&A session. Yeah. Yeah, Mikhailo Alinik, how you guess, he is a piano player. He's a composer. He's creating a lot of amazing compositions, and you will hear them after the Q&A session. So, yeah, oh, yeah, we're ready.
We'll rearrange super quickly the stage and we'll start a Q&A session.
During this time when we put everything, all the stuff on the stage, I will explain you and introduce you to more cultural forces soldiers and sergeants. It's Yuri Vaskevich. He's opera singer, and before the war he was the soloist of Zaporizhia Philharmonic. During the counteroffensive, he joined the army on 2022, and during the counteroffensive attack last summer, he lost his leg. Then, after a long period of rehabilitation, he joined cultural forces. And another one, it's Valery Shirokov. He is there. He needs applauses to come here, so let's do it. Valeria, поклич, будь ласка. Valery, it's amazing person. He is the press attaché of cultural forces. Valery worked 20 years for United Nations. He worked on election. Now, he's that good guy from the United Nations, and when he went out, they lose a lot of very kind things. So he worked on elections in Ethiopia, in Somalia, so in Africa. He perfectly is speaking 5 languages. He has PhD in Maastricht. It's an amazing person. So you will hear everything. And yeah, could you please sit down?
Тож пройдемо. Colleagues, let's join on the stage
Sit down
for the
now.
Q&A session.
You know, Yuri Vaskevich doesn't speak English. He's for picture here.
I don't speak either.
So we can do it in 2 languages.
Yeah, but when he begins to sing, everybody understands everything.
Firstly, I really want to thank you for this incredible introduction and the start of the program and all of the performers. Guys, you are absolutely incredible. Let's give them the round of applause. It's heartbreaking, I think, not just for Ukrainians here in the audience, but for everyone who is watching. And I know that we are being watched not only by the online viewing parties of our partners and friends, but also from other parts of the world. So friends online, please feel free to mention in the chat box under our streaming country and town where you are from, maybe emoji, maybe a flag of your own country. We will later name these countries that are watching us right now online. I prepared some questions, of course, but I'm also very much interested in hearing the questions from our audience. We have my colleagues who will help you with microphones. So in case you have a question, please raise your hand. You can ask this question in English. Так само можете своє питання поставити українською мовою. Будемо перекладати для нашої міжнародної аудиторії. It's not a problem for us. And also our friends and partners online, please feel free to ask your questions in the chat box online. And my first question is to all of you. So how did this project start? Was there a meeting, an insight, a moment? I don't know, what happened? How did you start it?
You mean cultural forces
at all?
It was started in the beginning of the March, physically. In Odessa, I joined the army on the 2nd day of the war, on the 25th of February. And I understood that we doesn't have, we had a lot of people inside our military unit. It was about 110 people, but we doesn't have psychologists, we doesn't have Kaplan on that time, and nobody has combat experience, so it was very high stress, and it was not possible to release it. And I asked my commander to to try. Just I said I want to collect the people who was out of shit at that time and try to read them poetry. And he said, okay, try to do it. And before the evening shift, I did it, and it worked. It worked. You know, after this session, it was about 20-25 minutes. We managed to sleep. So, and on that time, it was very, very important. And I began to do that almost every day. Then I found the guitar of Kaplan, who was in this military unit long, long time ago, and it was the guitar without one string, and with the music, it worked more powerful. But like organization officially, Cultural Forces started on 12th of June. I invited Sasha Chemerov. He's my friend, and he is sound producer of Cultural Forces. And we worked together with him in hospital in Kyiv, and then I began to search for the people, for the artists in the army at all, and inviting them, like Sasha Yermak, like Zhenya Galich. And right now we have about 80 artists. We have a lot of zones of responsibility. It's Cultural Forces, operational tactics groups who working on the front line. We have books to the front line. It's the project with sharing books with the soldiers. We have production, we have international production, we have musical production, and our studio on wheels, frontline studio. We have Cultural Forces International, so we become a little bit bigger.
So you have 80 people right now, currently
80
artists that are part of
80
this
artists,
project.
but we have not just artists, we have a lot of very powerful managers. An example, they are here, Anatoly Grabovy, who was one of the best lawyers in Ukraine before the war. And right now he is responsible for all the logistic and finance questions. Yeah, we have Evgen Semilid, who was CEO of Concert UA before the war, and after that he was the commander of the big troop in territorial defense. And then we invited him to Cultural Forces, and right now he is the commander of the state of Cultural Forces. So we have very powerful managers inside, because to control all the currents inside, you need to be very clever, like them.
You need to have those amazing coordinators.
You be very passionate, because to work with the artists is it's very difficult.
For each of you personally, what is the mission of this project, Cultural Forces? Яка місія вашого проекту особисто для кожного з вас?
Моя місія нічим не відрізняється від місії остальних артистів. Ми маємо донести нашу культуру. В даному випадку наша місія – це до американців, до американського народу, що ми є, нагадати про те, що ми є. Ми маємо подякувати їм за допомогу, за підтримку, ну, грубо кажучи, за те, що дають зброю нам. Більш нічого такого секретного тут немає.
Дякую.
I can do much more as compared to what I did in the trench. I was a gunner in the motor squad, but being a part of the Cultural Forces is another type of weapon, much more powerful.
And you are winning people's hearts with it already in so many countries, right?
Heart by heart.
Heart by heart. Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
You know, right now in the world at all is this balance between culture, between the soul and power. So that's why it's the main mission of Cultural Forces, to make everything is possible from us to make this balance, culture for power and power for culture.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nikolai. They usually say that when things like this happen, the invasions, the wars, culture is not important, right? Like there are much more serious things to do, to achieve. Have you ever met the skepticism when you started, or maybe right now, from people in Ukraine, but also abroad, and how you deal with the skepticism if it happened?
I think it's the very powerful idea, and if I wanted to destroy the enemy, I need to separate different types of society and different function, and said that it's not important. This is not important for one side. This is not important for other side. So when we begin to share that economic, it's not important right now. Education, it's not important right now. Everything is just on the front line. Culture is not important. It's work to separate us at first, and the second one, it work to leave us without our future, without our perspective. So in tactical perspective, yeah, especially in the beginning of the war, the bigger accent was on the front line and on the weapons there, on the soldiers. Right now we understand that it's a marathon, it's long term, and in long term everything needs to work, and everything needs to work in the best purpose. An example, culture need to work on the front line, and with that, how we understand it from our international mission, we need to share the seeds of Ukraine in other countries. And it's about the economic, it's about the business, because when other countries has interests in Ukraine and they defend their money, they will work hard on that. When we have culture which grown inside the culture of other countries, we all the time on, I don't know, no chach, on the ice, yeah, it's norm for English. No, okay. Translate me, please.
But we understand.
Yeah, you ever seen somewhere here and reminding. Yeah, so that's why when we came, we met with the big owners of the restaurants. We tell that we need to create like different types of conception of the restaurant, like franchise for free, with the grants for Ukrainians in the United States. An example, which will open different restaurants, not just village restaurants, like always Ukrainian restaurant somewhere in the United States. It's Veselka, something like that. You come to the village. Ukraine, it's not a village. Ukraine is high-level intellectual and creative country. So we need to share this, because you see, you was even American citizens who are here, you was in Ukrainian restaurants, and you see the difference between restaurants in Ukraine and even the United States. So we have very high-level service. We have high-level storytelling inside the restaurants, and it's very important to share it there. We don't have Ukrainian fast food abroad. And we spoke with one of the big owner of the restaurant that we need to put a lot of attention right now to create Ukrainian fast food, which will be simple, with storytelling inside, with tasty food, and which you can meet on the chaussee or on the road close to McDonald's or KFC and Mexican one, the famous Taco Bells, yeah, and Taco Bells. And every time when people will go there to eat, they will see the Ukrainian culture, and they will remember it's Ukraine.
Thank you, Koля.
What struck me in the US is that they call vareniki pirogi. So we need to change that, huh?
Right. I support this.
We need to change. I mean,
Right now, we need support of Poland.
Slowly but steadily.
I mean, I want to.
It's need to be close to one pierogi and vareniki.
Yeah, there should be a bigger line for vareniki, yeah, compared to pyrogi. No, I want to say that Ukraine is literally everywhere. Especially you feel, you see the footprint of Ukraine on every single step you make in the U.S. We performed in Pittsburgh in a small but very important bar, and the frontman of the Billy the Kid, he said, "Hey, psst, psst, my grand father, he was a Cossack." And I asked him, "Do you speak Ukrainian?" He said something like Slava Ukraini or something like this. I mean, his ancestors traveled to US and they built this land actually. And there are so many people who contributed to the US in anything, in every single sphere of life, be it culture, science, or rocket science, or anything. So it'll be a shame if we will be wiped off from the surface of the earth as a nation. And that was the message to the US public when we spoke to them.
And what was what was the response of the American audience when you traveled? Were there any, like you already started mentioning, some personal stories people shared about their background, about their families, something memorable from this trip?
You know, when we prepared our tour to United States, we understand that we need to make a movie about the support from American people to Ukrainian people. And it's very important to share it here, to show it in Ukraine, because Russian propaganda works a lot on the narrative that United States betrayed Ukraine and leave Ukraine alone. And for some kind of people, it works. And we need to give this connection back. And the best way is to show the non-verbal reaction. Because verbal reaction, especially when you're telling about how he's telling about the Ukraine, it's possible to fake it. Non-verbal reaction, it's not possible to fake, and we filmed a lot of reaction when people can't say anything. They just trying to catch the breath, and they cry and they hug us, and it's the most powerful things. And it was a lot of reaction like that. And when we prepared, we thought that we need to straightly search this reaction. We need to find these kind of people. But when we begin to do that, we understand that everything is here. Almost everybody who we meet, not almost every concert which we made was full of reactions. So we have a huge support in United States. And I telling in the first days when my friends asked me how was your trip to United States, I said I have two news, bad and good. The good news is that we have huge support in the United States. It's like very good earth. Everything you throw there, it's begin to grow. The bad news, almost nobody works with that. Almost nobody, because we go to Indianapolis, we're speaking with the people on the streets, and they're saying we can't find information about Ukraine. And it's the problem for Ukraine. It's not the problem for Indiana people or for American citizens. It's not the problem for them. It's a problem for Ukraine at first. And we need to find this kind of language which will be understandable, which will find the way to give the information straightly to the people in all the corners of United States.
This is a very powerful message, and thank you for sharing this, Koля, because I think there are a lot of people here in this audience who are particularly equipped both with language skills and with connections in the United States. We have alumni of USG programs here who could do this, who could continue spreading the word about Ukraine.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're all
here. We need the
here.
context of all of you.
Exactly, and this is important, guys. So you hear this, a lot of work is still to be done about it. I want to give the floor to the audience here. If you have a question, raise your hand, and our colleagues will, and we have a question.
Thank you so much. I have even two questions. I heard about your really very intense trip. You've said several hundreds of concerts, yeah? In 40 days?
No, 110
110. In 40 days, it's enough, really, a lot. So first question.
And excuse me, 110 concerts for 40 days for the guy with the protest. You understand the power of this man?
Respect.
Yeah, really, he never cried. He never say anything like, like I can't or something like that. Just sometimes I need to sit for 10 minutes and I will continue. So it's the very brave man.
Yep. My name is Anna. Yeah, nice to meet you all. Yeah, really, моя пошана, моя повага, ви всі неймовірні. So, first question is how you recover after such an intense work, such an intense trip, як ви відпочиваєте, як ви відновлюєтесь, тому що це реально, ну, супер потужна робота. That's the first question. And the second question, what are the main challenges for you right now as the situation changes like every day in Ukraine, all over the world? We see the dynamics, it's becoming really more and more and more and more. So what are your next questions, next issues, some plans probably?
Yeah. How we recovered? Well, I mean, everyone has been to the front line. Everyone has been to the war. And back then, when we performed in the evenings, we still remembered that there is war. There was war going on back home, and that was the driving force. I mean, you can't give up. I mean, for me, it was very intense, but I think we would still be able to continue for another 40 days. And the second question?
What are your next plans? Which challenges do you see in the future?
Yeah, we're planning to make 2 more tours at one time in autumn. The first one will be with Orchestra 59 and one guy from United States, very powerful guy who will be the host of that show, and they will go on the same trick, yeah, like we did it. And this group will go to south side of United States, and we will perform there. It will be for 2 months. With that, we prepare something very interesting in Turkey, but it will just girl group. But we can't open the cars right now. You will see it after, and you will be impressed. I promise. With that, we creating right now Cultural Forces international production. So with all the knowledge which we took from that trip, we understand what kind of content, what kind of video, of information American people and different kind of American people and societies ready to hear. What will be that kind of language? So we work on that, and it is a very, very big part of the job, of work. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I also want to encourage our partners from Trieste, Bitola, Skopje. If you have questions, you can unmute yourself, or maybe just send them these questions to us in the chat box. Just want to make sure. Or if you have comments. Please.
I can tell you my personal experience and my I think biggest impression of me. I've been working for elections for almost all my professional life, and I'll tell you the story. This is interesting. Road from Wabash to Indianapolis. The sun is setting, it's getting dark, and people started feeling hungry. And everybody has been asking to pull over. I was driving, and then we pulled over in a small King pizza eatery. And we went inside, and there was pizza, and the owner invited us for dinner. He paid for everything. And then he was so much enthusiastic about Ukraine, about helping Ukraine. And he said, well, I fed you. What else can we do to support Ukraine? And I said, well, do you vote? And he said, no. I said, why? And then we engaged in a small talk, and then we found out that he didn't like the programs of anyone, and he just was not interested in elections. And I told him, well, you asked me how you can support Ukraine. Well, go out and vote. Vote for Ukraine. I'm not asking you to vote who you want to vote for, either Democratic or Republican. You vote for Ukraine. And if Camden is watching this now, Camden, hello. Very nice guy. So I'm very proud of this +1 voter registration for US.
I remember the story from Pittsburgh. One of the last, it was the last day, and we had the concert on the main square, and we finished the concert. And you know what interesting about the cultural forces? When we come, almost in all the cities, we spend like 3 days. And when somebody come to our first concert and was impressed and have good relations with their boss, they support us on the next concert. During all the time, somebody was on 6-7 concerts of cultural forces. And one guy, he was born, his grandpa, I think, from Ukraine. He was born in Pittsburgh. Is the guy about 60 years, very powerful guy. And the woman, it was the woman, she brought for us a kroshka, how he told they called borscht. And she gave us the food, and they helping us to collect all this stuff. And the boss, with a lot of emotions, begin to tell that we need to support Ukraine. It's so important for us to support Ukraine. Ukraine is the soul of the world. Yes, yes, yes. But we need to stop this crazy, to stop this crazy man. And the boss, yes, yes. And he said Trump, and she said Biden. And they begin la 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 to each other. Then they get, stop. You supporting Ukraine is the main thing. And they stop their conflict.
Another quick one. We went to Indianapolis, and in the funicular, we saw that they have pictures of all the funiculars in the world. No, Indianapolis. Pittsburgh, yes. And there was a picture of the Kyiv funicular, right? And it was written Kyiv, Russia. Yes, Anna, yes. Was written. So we went to see the manager, and we explained that that's not the way, and that Ukraine has been independent since, etc., etc. And she promised to change.
Can we follow up on this?
Yes.
If she did?
Yes. Yes.
Please let us know.
Specifically, we asked for a couple of people to go back and check whether this has been done. And if not, we'll be back.
Wow.
Yeah, we will be back in any cases.
How many cities did you, or if you ever calculated, how many cities did you visit in the United States?
Yeah, some statistics, if you like. So
it's interesting.
It's up to 15,000 people. We impressed. We won 15,000 people plus. I want to say plus because there were a couple of live TV shows and radio emissions. So you multiply that by 1 million, I suppose. I'm joking. So we went to 9 states, and we've been to 19 cities. We drove in 40 days 10,000 kilometers.
Wow, crazy. A round of applause. And how many countries so far? The United States, other countries you guys also visited?
No,
Not yet.
not yet.
So maybe
It's our first trip abroad.
maybe more are to come.
Yeah, I thought about Turkey.
Right.
And right now, I think in very, very soon future, we'll go to Great Britain because Zaluzhny is there. He's the ambassador, and he's a very great ambassador, and I think he knows the importance of the culture. So I think very soon we will be inviting.
I wish you good luck with that. It's such an important mission. More questions from the audience, just to make sure you guys all have a chance, because we have a second part of the. Yes, we do have a question from over there. Could you please pass the
Hello. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your performance. It was truly moving. And since you've played the instrumental versions, I was just wondering whether you have also shared some songs in Ukrainian. And if so, what was your approach? How did you tell their story? And what was the reaction? Thank you.
We looked at the audience. We looked into the eyes of the audience, and we understood, and that made our program, in fact. So for the Ukrainian diaspora, we had a program. For the American diaspora, no. For Americans, we performed a few other things. So it's literally, we produced music on the go. That's the best way. I mean, what the audience wants to listen, we hear the audience, and of course the Ukrainian songs, Ukrainian repertoire was prominent for us. Yes, was prominent. The audience ranged from really small rooms for say 50 people. Our record was, I think, up to 700 people in one big hall in Pittsburgh.
And you know, this team, this band who went this time, and will go this the next time, was collected from the people whose art is international. So that's why Taras playing, he's always playing like Ukrainian composition Duma by Drimluga. It's very complicated, very difficult composition, and not just for playing, because not a lot of bandura players can play it. It's even for hearing, because it's classical music and high-level classical music. Then he relaxing the people with the Nothing Else Matters. And then he playing Shedrik, which was written by Leontovich, a Ukrainian composer. Then Olga Rukavishnikova, she playing Skorik, the melody. It's always impressing the audience. With Mikhailo, Olga with Mikhailo and Taras playing Skorik, Gutsul dance, Gutsulski tanec, from Ukrainian movie, a very famous movie, The Shadow of Forgotten Anchors. And it's kind of compositions which impressing everyone, and sometimes to show the Ukrainian, I don't know, entertain music. Yuri with Mikhailo singing Gutsulka Ksenia. Nobody understand the words, but everybody dancing. We had in this trip with us was the girl. She's an amazing singer. Her name is Valeria Vovk. She lives in the United States. She studied in Boston. She studied in Berkeley, and right now she lives in Boston. She sang the songs by Ivasyuk. 2 songs by Ivasyuk, and 1 song is her song. When I performed, I translated my songs, because the most important in these songs is the senses. So that's why it was translated. It's Ukrainian song, but translated for American audience because, шашечки чи їхати. We need to share the senses. We need to fire the hearts. So we did everything to get this game.
Yuri also performed opera in collaboration with internationally renowned artists.
З оперними співаками це було місто вилетіло в Коламбус. Там були два оперних співаки місцевих, вони викладачі в університеті. Дуже потужні тенори, співаки, і тим більше, що їхня американська школа відрізняється трошки від європейської школи співу. Там їх тренують спеціально додатково. Мені було приємно, що ми з ними нормально заспівали. Ми заспівали італійську пісню «Торна Сур'єнте», так. Вона прозвучала, було дуже приємно просто з такими співаками мені самому співати. Я думаю, що їм було теж легко зі мною співати, знаєте, як прекрасно все прозвучало, була музика. Музика понад усе, все остальне вторинне.
Yuri said that more questions, less songs.
Але гуцулку Ксенію не знали.
Ні, так. Ми запитали, вони не змогли.
So just to summarize for our international partners the story that in Columbus, Ohio, Yuri performed with opera singers, local opera singers, and it was the Italian piece, and music is a truly international language. Everybody could understand each other and performed really beautifully. Maybe one more question from the audience if there is one, or if not, I will ask my question because we need to continue the performance. My question then. What would be your recommendation, your piece of advice for young artists, Ukrainian artists, how to promote Ukraine, both in Ukraine but also abroad, as you mentioned? What to do?
The first and the most important thing is to understand, are you ready to promote Ukraine? It is very important because we understood that for Ukraine right now, one of the main accents need to be the knowledge of the language, the knowledge of the mental state, and what is interesting to other part. Because when you want to come to somebody and give somebody to another person, you need to be sure that that person needs what you bring. So that's why for the young artists, our big advice is to study, and to study straightly with the thoughts about that side. So it is very important for us because, Soviet Union worked a lot on separation with all the world, and right now we continue to break in the wall, and we need to do that. And when the wall is broken, we need to understand who is there and what we can bring there. Because
with the focus on
like we're telling, in the United States, always when we come, we said we don't need donations. We don't need from you. We come here not for the money, not to ask you for something. No, we come here to say thanks to you for your support in Ukraine, because it's very important for us. And we always telling that Ukraine and the United States are in partnership always. One side giving something to other side, and the other side giving something to the first side. So right now we don't have material resources because the war is like black hole, which
absorbs
everything material. But we have knowledge, we have our reflexy about our experience. We have our culture, which has a lot of this experience inside. We have our emotions, and we have the information, a lot of information, knowledge, which we can share with you. And we come here to say thanks, not just with words, with our emotions. And it worked.
Дякую. Thank you so much.
Будь ласка.
Like you said, last questions, more music, I guess. So
Yeah.
back to music. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause for these amazing answers and stories. Дякую.
Mikhailo Linik, we found him in airborne forces, invited to cultural forces, and he's the composer. He wrote a lot of compositions on the front line. And you know what he's doing else? He always on the concerts in front of the troops, asking maybe somebody writing poems and want to share these poems with the world. And the guys gave him poems, and he creating songs from them and giving back like songs. And you know, it's very important because some of the guys who gave their poems, they are not alive right now, but their art, their poems, their feeling, their emotions still living, helped to Mikhailo Linik. Mikhailo Linik.
Thank you. Oh yeah. My next song, it's yeah. Наступну пісню я хочу заспівати українською. My next song is called Mom, Don't Cry. Мамо, не плач, я повернусь весною. У шибку пташинкою вдарюсь твою. Прийду на світанні в садок із росою. А може дощем на поріг упаду. Голубко, не плач, так судилося, ненько. слово, матусю, не буде моїм. Прийду і попрошуся, сон твій тихенько, розкажу, як мається в домі новім. Мені колискову ангел співає, і рана смертельна уже не болить. Ти знаєш, матусю, і тут сумно буває, душа за тобою, рідненька, ще мить. Мамочко, вибач за чорну хустину, за те, що віднині будеш сама. Тебе я люблю і люблю Україну. Вона, як і ти, була в мене одна. Тебе я люблю і люблю Україну. Вона, як і ти, була в мене одна. Мамо, не плач, я повернусь весною. Дякую.
А це той самий гуцульський танець. And this is гуцул dancing, about which I told. It's amazing. Yuri Vaskevich. We call him our HIMARS. Because when he began to perform, it's all the audience like this. You will feel it on yourself. Yuri Vaskevich. And especially for our Italy friends who is online, guys, is the song especially for you.
Che bella cosa, una giornata di sole, un'aria serena, dopo una tempesta, per l'aria fresca, pareggiata festa, che bella cosa, una giornata di sole. Guarda dei sole che io me la iene, oh sole mio, stai in fronte a te, oh sole mio, stai in fronte a te, stai in fronte a te. Quando fa notte, sole se ne scene, mi viene questa una malinconia sotto finestra, toia restoria. Quando fa notte io sole se ne scene, Mona dei sole che io me la iene, oh sole mio, stai in fronte a te, oh sole mio, stai in fronte a te, stai in fronte a te. Guarda dei sole che io me la iene, oh sole mio, stai in fronte a te, oh sole mio, stai in fronte a te, stai in fronte a te.
Check, check.
Темна ніч річка горю крила, полонину всю залила, а в ній постать сніжно біла, гуцул синів в ній пізна. Він дивився в очі сині, тихо спершись на соснині, і слова ніжні любові він до неї промовляв: гуцулко синю, я тобі на трембіті, лиш одній в цілім світі розкажу про любов. Душа страждає, звук трембіти лунає, та що серце кохає, бо гаряче, мов жар.
Вже пройшло гаряче літо, гуцул іншу любить скрито, а гуцулку чорноброву він в останню ніч прощав.
Черемоша грали хвилі, сумували очі сині, тільки вітер на соснині сумну пісню виграв. Гуцулко синю, я тобі на трембіті, лиш одній в цілім світі розкажу про любов. Душа страждає, звук трембіти лунає, та що серце кохає, бо гаряче, мов жар. Гуцулко синю, я тобі на трембіті, лиш одній в цілім світі розкажу про любов. Душа страждає, звук трембіти лунає, та що серце кохає, бо гаряче, мов жар.
Дякуємо.
Розмовляти, можливо, я англійською не сильно вмію, заспівати можу.
I see trees of green, red roses too, it is in bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the blend blizzard day, the dark secret night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so red in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really sing, I love you. I hear babies cry, I want them grow. They'll age much more than I'll never know. And I sing to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so bright in the sky, are also the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really sing, I love you. I see trees are green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Юрій Васкевич, Михайло Олійник.
Тарас, можна вас? When we have our Q&A session, not bad. На місці всі? Okay. It's still 62 strings, so everything is okay. I told that when we performed in the United States, I translated a few songs to share the senses which was in these songs. And one of the songs, it called Додому in Ukrainian version.
Could you, yeah. It is very important song for me. This song played on the railway station in Kyiv when the train from Kyiv goes to Kramatorsk at 6:45 in the morning. And sometimes when I feel that I need, like in the moments when I losing my religion, or how Valery told that about the recovery. So when we need recovery, we just need motivation, and it's the best motivation. I come there and I watching how mothers hugs their sons, the wives hugs their husbands, and children hugs their father. And it's always, you understand that everybody understands that it could be the last hug. And so powerful emotion, so powerful thing which you can see there. I don't know where else it's possible in that short time. So this song was translated, and I will sing it for you with Taras Stoller. As soon as we get the victory, the smoke will clear over our history, and I will see your eyes again. I can't bear it any longer, my friend. Well, your look will be softer and wiser, and the sky over us will be brighter. No more secrets, questions, or mysteries, as soon as we get the victory. The sound of gunshots, and I can't hear a word. The heart is beating tiredly without passion. But be that as it may, the hope is alive. I know we all will go back home when we achieve our mission. Oh, back home. We all will go back home. We will meet our soldiers with honor. We will wash their wounds with tears. We will throw off our armor, put down our weapons as soon as we win. Well, the ones who entered the fire of death, they left us their names forever, and they're sitting with God on the cloud patches, on the better positions there. In the name of them, we will build our peace. In the name of them, and for the joy of all the living, the world was the highest kind of people, the world where the heart flows with love. We managed to beat the enemy, and now we will teach everyone to love. We will multiply love in the world, so it's the purpose of our victory. The sound of gunshots, and I can't hear a word. The heart is beating tiredly without passion. But be that as it may, the hope is alive. I know we all will go back home when we achieve our mission. Oh, back home. We all will go back home. Oh, back home. We all will go back home. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to invite Mikhailo Olinik, Yuri Vaskevich, and Olga Rukavishnikova. And I want everybody to stand up. We will sing Ukrainian national prayer, Боже великий єдиний. Yeah, you know, with the prayer, God will save us, but we need to do something by ourselves, and we will go to shelter.
Боже великий єдиний, нам Україну храни, волі світу промінням тієї осінни. Світлом науки і знанням нас, дітей, просвіти, чистій любові до краю, ти нас, Боже, зрости. Молимось, Боже єдиний, нам Україну храни, всі свої ласки щедроти ти на люд наш зверни. Дай йому волю, дай йому долю, дай добро світу, щастя, дай, Боже, народу і многая
Thank you. It was Cultural Forces, and now everybody who is offline, go into the shelter. Who is online, you are in safety. Thank you.
All give a round of applause to our incredible performers. Слава Збройним силам України!